Hey there, Happy New Year and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. My name is Pete and today we complete the first episode of the game's second act, if you will, because after curing the genophage in the last episode we have learned that there is something going on the Citadel and apparently Councilor Udina is involved, so we have promised to investigate. And that is exactly what we will do now, leaving Tuchanka behind for good and once again making our way over to the Serpent Nebula. Now be warned, this is the first small point of no return in the game, so make sure you have completed as many side missions as possible, as quite a few of them can no longer be turned in after we give the docking order.
Alliance Control, this is SSV Normandy. Are we clear to descend? Alliance Control, this is Normandy. We're headed to Bay 1-4, Zakara Ward. Are we clear to descend? What the hell's going on down there? Even if there were a station malfunction, they'd have backups online. I got a bad feeling here. Checking emergency channels. Hey, yeah, this is Joker. Yeah, no kidding. Commander, there's a communication from Thane. He says it's important. I think you'll want to hear this.
Put him through.
Shepard, the Citadel is under attack. Cerberus troops are everywhere and they're in control of the docks.
Are you safe?
No, I had to evade their commandos at the hospital. I'm in a Presidium storefront.
Did Kaidan make it out?
We got separated. He said he had to protect the Council. I'm going to CSEC headquarters.
Why CSEC headquarters?
It's been compromised, and CSEC's response depends on it. As long as Cerberus is holding the headquarters, they have the station.
All right, Joker, get us away from the docks and close to CSEC HQ. We'll deploy in the shuttle.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Alright, now since CSEC headquarters are involved, I think it makes some sense to bring Garrus along, and we'll also bring James with us for a bit more squad-mate banter. Now for the weapon loadout, we will start things off with only a pistol today, the M5 Phalanx to be exact, that we acquired on Tuchanka. Equipped with a scope and a high-caliber barrel, the weapon is fairly precise and does some good damage for a pistol. At the very least, it should be serviceable for the first section of the mission, after which we are then going to make a switch. The loadout for James, meanwhile, remains unchanged, but I think with Garrus it is high time that we give him the Turian-faced assault rifle, and again also upgraded with scope and barrel. Now up next, ability points, and we have enough here to unlock the final rank of Disruptor ammo. We haven't been using it much, but especially against heavy mechs it does have its uses, and for that purpose we also want maximum damage output, which allows us to almost do double damage against shields and barriers. Now we will save the remaining 3 points and instead move on to Garrus, who has just enough squad points so that we can max out Turian Rebel, and I don't think that this comes as a surprise, but yes, we still want him to become an unstoppable killing machine, so we'll gladly take a 60% sniper rifle damage bonus. Finally then, we can also unlock rank 5 of James's Carnage ability, and while the knockdown effect here is kind of useful, we still want to go with the recharge speed, as the main purpose of pretty much all of our abilities is simply to be used as often as possible, and a 35% cooldown reduction is going to be noticeable. And that's all, time to jump into the action.
Okay, people, coming in hot. Get to cover.
Sir!
Alright, first things first, we are immediately dashing into cover here to get our abilities set up, and I hope you can excuse the fact that I'm talking over the CSEC VI that you can hear in the background, but over the sounds of combat you will probably not be able to understand much of what it's saying anyway, and it is also fully subtitled. Now, unsurprisingly, we are fighting Cerberus troops here, most of them shielded, which makes Garrus a handy squad mate to have, and as you can see, most of the action is focused on the center walkway. The first thing that we want to take care of is obviously the turret down by the stairs, and afterwards I have found that it's a good idea to engage the few enemies over on the right side, because not only is this area slightly elevated compared to the center, but leaving these enemies alive is also a good way to get ourselves flanked, while taking them out allows us to do the same. Regarding our phalanx pistol, by the way, I think you have seen that it is pretty accurate even over longer distances, allowing us to take out unshielded enemies quickly with a few well-placed headshots. Now, perhaps a few words on what we are dealing with, as very obviously the Citadel is under Cerberus attack. This is clearly a bit of a step up from us just checking in on Udina, who the Salarian Councilor deemed to be a security risk, and it of course begs the question whether or not there is a connection between these two events. Regardless of that, however, CSEC attacking the Citadel is definitely a new level of boldness for them, because so far they have mostly ambushed more remote locations with far less security. Speaking of which, one of the members of Citadel Security has apparently also been caught in the crossfire, and we'll check on him in just a second after looting the med station over here.
Shepard, I saw those Cerberus troops on you. I thought you were done for.
Bailey, what are you doing here?
Getting my ass shot off trying to retake headquarters. Cerberus took it in the first push. We gotta kick them out of there. Everyone in CSEC's flying blind without the network.
How bad's the situation? Do you know if the councilors are alive?
They split up. I'll know more if I can access the terminal inside.
Can you get us in?
I'll get the door. If no one interrupts me with a bullet this time. Here we go. CSEC network access, courtesy of Cerberus.
How's that gonna help?
Cerberus has control of the main channels, but I can set up a new one. Without it, our people have no plan and no chance. Hello.
What have you got?
A warning from Councilor Valern. He's supposed to be here meeting with the Executor. Be on guard. The likelihood of betrayal from within is high. Not a lot else. But if he's inside...
Why would the Councilor be meeting with the Executor?
Usually it means someone big's about to be prosecuted. I guess that someone had Cerberus friends.
The councilor mentioned Udina. But that's insane. Does he even have this kind of pull?
Well, you know who'd have the answer to that? The Councilor.
Alright, first morality choice of the mission, and of course we are going Paragon here, because no matter what it takes, it looks like we'll have to get ourselves some answers.
One Councilor's better than zero. Where am I headed?
He could be in the Executor's office. It's a fairly defensible position.
I'm on it.
Just a sec. There, now we can talk by Omnitool. Go!
Thane, did you hear all that?
Yes. I'm nearing the building, but running is difficult. I'll try to get to you.
And it is nice to hear that Thane is also still with us, sort of as a remote squad member if you will, but don't worry, we'll meet him soon enough. For now, we have more enemies to dispatch of, although the first two troopers here fall quickly, and the rest of the room is not too heavily populated either. Using our pistol scope, we can then finally also unlock the Male Slot achievement, as we have been missing that final Guardian headshot for quite some time now, and this here is one of those sections where you have a few seconds all alone with one, as the second Guardian in the area takes a bit longer to arrive. Without Liara's singularity, taking it out is then a little bit more tricky than usual, but once again our pistol is accurate enough to hit those few body parts that are not covered by the shield. The last enemy in the area is then a combat engineer who has so far been thankfully passive, so it's only them and not another turret that we have to worry about. And only now will we move forward and immediately head into cover again, as we have another wave of assault troopers dropping in from above. However, in my opinion, this is more of a shooting gallery, as the assault troopers are completely defenseless as they are dropping down, so even with just the pistol we can collect a good number of headshots. For the fourth and final one, we are then going for the melee kill, but unfortunately our squad members are quicker.
Troops in the lobby. They were dug in.
I can see more through the cameras. They're all over the station.
This one got it in the back of the head. Inside job.
Same as Mars. Cerberus sure likes sleeper agents.
And indeed, it looks like Cerberus is staying the course, although of course this time they are operating on a much larger scale. Be that as it may, looting the medkit over here just gave us enough experience points to level up, and this is not going to take long as we are only going to grab the final rank of Carnage with James. The two options here are fairly similar in my opinion, either a large damage bonus only against armored units or a slightly smaller one against everyone, and I think it would be wise to go for maximum versatility here, as we will be using this ability quite frequently and won't always have armored units in sight. Now moving on, we can also read a short emergency message from Commander Bailey, but apart from the fact that we have a Cerberus attack going on, there is not much to be revealed here. So instead, let's find ourselves an exit and move on. Now, behind what I assume to be a neatly hidden loading zone, we will shortly find more enemies, and for clearing them out, we will actually use our Adrenaline Rush, which fully upgraded allows us to breach the room Call of Duty style, taking out a Guardian while they still have their back turned, a Centurion despite the shields, and an Engineer before they can set up the turret. A final Centurion then stands little chance in a fight 1 versus 3, and so a room full of challenging enemies is cleared in just a few seconds. The room itself then also has a few objects of interest, most notably an ammo refill and the recon helmet. Now, before we move on, we want to take a quick detour to the bathroom, although our hopes that Cerberus has maybe missed this door are quickly disappointed.
They really went room to room, didn't they?
Still, we can find some credits here, and much more importantly, the M76 Revenant Assault Rifle. This is what we will now be switching to for the rest of the mission, exchanging pinpoint single-shot accuracy for brute automatic stopping power. Now, I believe the Revenant is actually the heaviest assault rifle we currently have access to, and overall there are certainly better weapons in the game, both in terms of accuracy and damage. Still, despite its statistical downsides, I am a firm believer that every good shooting game needs a healthy dose of spray and pray here and there, and the Revenant definitely scratches that itch. Once again then, we do not get the melee kill here, even though it looks like it, but rewatching this scene during editing frame by frame, I noticed that the Engineer actually died before we made contact. So while James and Garrus do their best to keep us from punching people, we have cleared our way onwards. Before we go though, let us quickly apply some upgrades to the Revenant, and once again we are going with scope and barrel here for a bit more accuracy and damage.
Any survivors in there?
None yet.
Damn it, keep looking.
If you are wondering, by the way, yes, we are still inside of CSEC headquarters. I am not quite sure how clear this was made during the mission intro, but it adds some context to what Garrus is now about to say.
Richfield! Lamont! You alive? Hey! You mind not alerting the whole station? If gunfire doesn't put them on notice, I sure won't.
Now, not only is CSEC HQ a good source of loot, but we can also find Bailey's personal log here, which are basically the notes of an increasingly annoyed superior, as all 4 entries here point to his subordinates being various forms of incompetent. Now moving on, in the room on the other side of the hallway we can get ourselves another pistol upgrade as well as the Securitel helmet, but surprise surprise, we are still not done. If we leave the room again, we can see that there is more loot in the one right next to it. However, the door is currently locked and we can't shoot out the window either. Luckily for us, we will shortly find a solution for that, right after we pick up the M25 Hornet SMG. So far, we have only seen this weapon used by Cerberus troopers. Interestingly enough, however, this time we find it on the body of a CSEC officer. Since we are not going to make another weapon switch just yet, we will simply take it with us, and can then activate the door controls in the next room. Now, not only does this clear our path onwards at the end of the room here, but it also unlocks the door that we stood in front of just a few moments ago. Inside of that room we will now find yet another weapon, this time the M358 Talon Heavy Pistol. Once again, this is a Cerberus weapon, usually employed by Cerberus Guardians, who carry their shield with the other hand, so its presence inside of this room right here is certainly interesting. In a lovely piece of environmental storytelling, the log entry right next to it, however, sheds a bit more light on the situation, because apparently the weapon had been confiscated. The log speaks of the Talon pistol being smuggled all over the station, and after today's attack we now know why. And not only that, but the M25 Hornet that we found on the dead C-Sec officer earlier might indicate that that guy had been a mole, and that Cerberus had people working for them undercover even within C-Sec ranks. In any case, we have more clearly identifiable Cerberus troopers right ahead of us. However, as there's only 2 of them, they offer little resistance. And so we can quickly move on to the next area, this one being one of C-Sec's cafeterias.
We've got to be close now.
Yeah, there's a stairwell further on. Executor's office is right above it. Let's hope we're not too late.
And that kind of knowledge is why Garrus makes for a great squad member for this mission. In the background, we can also hear a news report featuring Kalisa Al-Jalani, and it is definitely a relief to hear that she's still working for the good guys. Speaking of which, the bad guys now once again make their entrance from above, and so we now test out the Revenant in our first medium to long range encounter, which it is admittedly not really designed for. Still, if we fire in short bursts and don't try to move while doing so, we can actually hit our targets fairly reliably, not to mention that the fast firing rate also increases our chances of setting the enemies on fire with incendiary ammo, which in turn then primes them for fire explosions with concussive shot or carnage. We also finally get our first melee kill of the episode, and before moving on, this area has some loot as well, this time in the form of a med station and a sniper rifle upgrade. And with that, the Executor's office is just up the stairs. Let's see who we can find.
Bailey, looks like they got the Executor, and 2 Salarian bodyguards.
Damn, alright, keep searching. If you don't see the Councilor's body, don't count him out yet.
Found him. He looks unharmed.
Get him somewhere safe.
Don't even think about it.
Shepard, he's going to kill us all!
That remains to be seen.
I mean, Udina, he's staging a coup. He's got the other councillors now to hand over to Cerberus.
3-on-1, pal. It's over.
No, it's fun.
Thane! How bad is it?
I have time. Catch him.
Shepard, what's going on up there?
Thane needs medical help fast, and I need to take care of an assassin.
He must be going after the rest of the council.
Get the word out. Udina's trying to seize power. I've got to get to the councilors.
They're being taken to a shuttle pad on the Presidium. Start driving. I'll try to raise them on the comm. I've got a fix on the council's position. I'm sending it to your car.
Good work, Bailey. We're almost there.
Shepard, my instruments say your car's stopped.
I'm on foot now. Any luck contacting the Council?
Negative, their guards are dead. But we've still got vital signs on the Council's transponders.
Where are they going?
The shuttle pad above Shelmar Plaza. Dana's with them. If he can get them in range of that assassin, this is all over.
On my way.
Right, so after our first encounter with one of the more controversial adversaries in this game, we are now back in combat, where we have just taken out our first Cerberus Phantom, an enemy type clearly modeled after the guy who just attacked us. After 16 episodes, they are also the first enemy we encounter protected by barriers, so as we get ourselves another melee kill here, let's talk tactics. In my opinion, Phantoms are among the most dangerous Cerberus units in the entire game, because just like the Nemesis here, they hit extremely hard, but only with a melee attack, and on top of that they are also able to shoot at us from range, although that attack does not deal quite as much damage. Now, by jumping over the gap here and then immediately jumping back, we quickly trigger the next group of enemies. The gap, however, forces them to expose themselves if they want to get close, which is exactly what Phantoms like to do.
They don't like to hold still, do they?
And with that, we get to their defensive capabilities, which are definitely no joke either, and not only because they are protected by barriers, the one layer of protection that the game gives you the least amount of weapons and powers to counter. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, they are also extremely agile, able to quickly roll from one side to the next, which makes hitting them much harder, not to mention that they can also dodge the projectiles of concussive shot. On top of that, they also have a tactical cloak, which you might remember from Kasumi, so yes, they can also go sort of invisible. Long story short, they are a formidable foe that more often than not requires our full attention, and one that we definitely do not want to let get close to us. That being said, there are ways to neutralize them fairly effectively, for example, 1 or 2 maxed out overloads to deal with their barriers being one of them. The most common one though is probably Liara's stasis, which can affect them even while their barriers are still up, and with an enemy as mobile as this, holding them in place is already half the win. Still, despite all of those obstacles, we were able to clear the area, and we actually managed to do so without taking any damage whatsoever. Now, since we are back out in the Presidium, there is no loot anywhere nearby, and it also looks like our way onwards is not going to be as straightforward as we had planned.
They sealed it behind them.
So, our path now takes us through the Citadel's back alleys, if you will, a short detour until we are back on a proper plaza. There is only one way to take here, so we cannot get lost, but it is still fairly easy to miss a datapad with credits on it, which we can find around the corner here on top of a few crates. That is all there is to discover though, unless you also count the enemies already waiting for us as we emerge on the other side.
I'm at Shelmar Plaza. Where's the Council?
In an elevator. They're trying to get to the shuttle dock. Someone's following them. Someone with a sword.
Great.
Alright, so the Council is on the move, our assassin friend is behind them, and we are being blocked by a heavy mech. Good thing that we maxed out Shepard's disruptor ammo for maximum damage earlier, which should help us take this thing down quickly. There are also a few other enemies in the area, but James and Garrus should be able to handle them, and if they are still alive once the mech goes down, the eventual explosion has a good chance of taking them with it. So all in all, this is not really the hardest fight of the mission, that is, if we stay in cover and remain focused on the mech. Despite the continuous stream of smoke grenades, the mech usually doesn't move much and is therefore easy to hit, and once its shields are down, the combination of incendiary ammo, concussive shot and James's carnage take care of the rest. As you can see, a few stragglers survive, but they are quickly taken out as well.
Got a ride for you, Shepard. Grab an elevator.
And there we go, the last big fight of the mission is behind us. Time to take the elevator to catch up with the Council. At least after taking out a sneaky Cerberus trooper that we missed earlier, but they are hardly a challenge at this point, even though this would have been a great opportunity to grab another melee kill.
Okay, I'm in the shaft.
Hang on, this'll be a fast climb.
Tell me that assassin hasn't reached the Council.
He's trying, but I'm making his elevator stop on every floor.
Nice. I found our friend.
Kill his elevator. There's a power conduit beneath it.
Bit of a change of pace here with the elevator ride, but again, nothing terribly difficult if you know what to shoot at.
Going down!
Incoming phantoms!
This line from Bailey is then admittedly a little worrying, but after a quick explosion we never actually get to see the enemies.
Guess that was their stop.
Shepard, bad news.
Is there any other kind?
That hitman jumped to another elevator and he's overridden my controls. He's on his way up, I can't stop him.
I'll handle it.
Here they come!
And once again we are threatened with some actual enemies, or even another encounter with the assassin, but we can avoid all that with a few more well-placed shots. And so the ride continues, until we have to do what every hero needs to do when they are inside of an elevator shaft.
Shepard?
I see them. Jump!
What's that noise?
Gunner, get down! Go!
Cerberus took out the shuttle. Everyone back to the elevator. Move! Shepard, what's going on?
Shepard's blocking our escape. He's with Cerberus.
Just hang on. I got this. Everyone calm down.
Alright, now the outcome of this encounter depends heavily on our previous interactions with Kaidan, but we have been kind to him and can in just a moment also use a Paragon Interrupt to ensure that the situation does not escalate.
I can explain this, Kaidan.
Come on, Shepard. Gun drawn on a counselor? Kinda looks bad.
We don't have time to negotiate. You've been fooled, all of you. Udina's behind this attack. The Salarian Councilor confirmed it.
Please, you have no proof. You never do.
There are Cerberus soldiers in the elevator shaft behind us. If you open that door, they'll kill you all.
We've mistrusted Shepard before, and it did not help us.
We don't have time to debate this. We're dead if we stay out here. I'm overriding the lock.
I better not regret this.
You won't.
Udina, step away from the console.
To hell with this.
He's got a gun!
And yes, we just pulled the trigger, otherwise Kaidan would have.
Get the Council back and cover that door. The door! Bailey?
Made it as fast as we could, Shepard. Looks like you took care of things.
Something's not right. You said Cerberus was targeting us. Where did their soldiers go?
Cerberus was right here, but they beat feet into the Keeper tunnels when they figured out we were coming. Sorry, Counselor, I'll say it plain. Shepard just saved the lot of you.
And you have saved my life twice now, Shepard. I owe you both a personal debt, and one on behalf of Palaven.
2 more Paragon points can now be obtained here, as I don't think this is the right time to play out our grudges. Instead, let's reaffirm that we are all in the same boat.
You don't owe me anything, Counselor. Times like this, we all stand together.
Commander, do you have any idea why the Illusive Man would do this?
No, I don't. But I plan to find out.
All right, people. Principals are evacuated. We got a tunnel and 1 million more places to secure. Move it.
Yes?
Things didn't go as planned. The Council's still in control of the Citadel and Udina's dead.
Udina was expendable.
Now what?
There are other plans in motion. I'll fill you in when you return. I'm surprised you let Shepard get the better of you, Leng.
It won't happen again.
We'll see.
We looked over every centimeter of those tunnels, Shepard. Your Cerberus pal is made out of smoke and mirrors.
Now, the answer we choose here does not really matter in terms of morality points, but let's go with the one that sounds a little less accusatory.
He likes to fight. He'll show up again.
Pardon me if I'm not reassured by that. We can't even get an ID on him. He released a VI into the Citadel system that erased footage of him wherever he went. I guess he didn't trust that Udina's plan would come together. That reminds me, we got your friend Thane into Huerta Memorial. He's in for surgery. Apparently, there's complications.
Do you think he'll make it?
I caught that they didn't have much drill blood on the Citadel. I notified his next of kin, his son Koliat. He was the right blood type, but I don't know if he made it in time. We're pretty sure the route to the hospital is safe from Cerberus. If you want to see him, I'd go now.
And in light of that information, a thank you is definitely in order, I think, not to mention that it also gives us 2 more Paragon points.
I'll get on it.
Oh, and you can tell him the Salarian Councilor says he's a hero. Just, I don't know, make things easier for him.
Alright, and there we are, with the Arbiter achievement unlocked and another mission completed. There is quite a bit of aftermath still to explore, however, so let's keep going, and let's actually start with another chat with Bailey.
So many pieces to put back together since the Cerberus attack. We're reeling from the implications. Udina in league with Cerberus trying to murder the Council. These are dark days for all of us.
After the recent events, the Commander has a few more bits of info for us, even behind those questions that we have seemingly already asked.
All that time you were working for Udina, did you ever suspect?
Always rubbed me a little wrong. Still, that traitorous bastard upped me. Probably made me for an idiot. I guess I proved him right.
He's dead, and you're still here, Bailey.
Thanks to you. If you hadn't shown up, Udina and Cerberus would be dancing on my grave.
Thought you'd be in the hospital.
If I'm breathing, I'm working. Probably the worst I've ever been hurt. Fitting, I guess, given the state of the galaxy. But if Cerberus thinks a few slugs is gonna keep me out of action, they've got another thing coming.
Can this station be defended?
The internal security breaches have been patched, but we're dangerously low on manpower. We're grilling our own people and trying to figure out if Udina acted alone, but it's time-consuming. All in all, we're still vulnerable, but I think we've taken the right steps.
How does the Citadel fit into the war now?
The war finally found us. This is so far beyond our imagination, and we have been trained to expect the unexpected. Since the coup attempt, folks are shutting down and shutting in. I hear a lot of praying. And crying. They're saying this is the war to end all wars. Well, I haven't seen anything to say they aren't right.
You hear anything about your family out there?
Not a peep. Always believed I'd get a chance to tell my ex-wife a few things. And my kids on Earth. I was supposed to visit them. First vacation in years, but I had to cancel when I got promoted.
Don't give up hope, Bailey.
Thanks, Shepard. I'm really trying not to think about it.
And on that sad note, we will leave him to it. Best not to confront him with the topic any further.
I'll leave you to it then.
I'm here if you need me.
Now, as I said, this basically marks the beginning of Act 2 of the game, and as such, the Citadel has a bunch of new people and quests for us to find, starting with a Tyrian officer over in the corner here.
This is a problem, boss. Cerberus has changed their ciphers, and our codebreakers aren't getting anywhere at the moment. I've got our best teams working in shifts on it, but ensuring Citadel systems integrity is just gonna take time. If we can get some of their field encryption tools, maybe sample ciphers. I understand. Keep trying.
And with the first new side quest added to our journal, we can now head towards the elevator and listen to another conversation at the embassy reception.
My wife was just sent back to active duty, and I'm about to get shipped out too. I was told you might be able to help me.
Of course. You're Neota's spouse, correct?
Yes! How did you know that?
We keep identity information on all permanent Citadel residents engaged in formal relationships with Asari. That way, should anyone require diplomatic aid, we can ensure prompt assistance.
It's wonderful. Then you can help me send my daughter back to my wife's family?
I'm afraid, however, that might be a bit difficult.
Look, I filled out all the forms you requested and jumped through every hoop. I don't even know where Neota is, and I'm gonna be deployed soon, too. Everyone's been called back to active duty since Earth was attacked.
I understand, but...
I can't leave my daughter here alone. I need to send her back to Thessia, to her family.
These things are very complicated, and usually take a very long time. It's even worse with everything going on right now. I'm very sorry. If you can't accept a fostering by proxy until her file is processed, there's nothing more I can do. Perhaps you could send the girl to your side of the family.
Are you kidding? My family disowned me when I married Neota. Wanna guess why?
Oh my.
They'd be happier to see those Cerberus assholes than they would be to see me.
I understand why you would not wish to send your daughter to them.
Yeah, well, your understanding doesn't help me or my daughter much right now.
Now, the conversation is not finished just yet, but we'll leave it at that for now and come back for its conclusion later. Trust me, that makes a bit more sense.
They hit where? Damn it. How are we supposed to predict the moves of an enemy we don't understand? Divert to... do we have any AI-enabled fragments of Sovereign? Any Reaper code I can analyze? No? Well, then they'll keep outmaneuvering our fleet, and Asari worlds will keep burning.
Overhearing the Asari here then unlocks another side quest, and with that we can head into the elevator. Our next stop, the hospital.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Huerta Memorial Hospital.
No, I'm seeing it here, too. We're low on metagel and synthetic blood, and we don't have enough volunteers. If we could get the rings of Elune from the Salian Nebula, we could declare a cultural crisis. People would have to listen. No, they're not just symbolic. The Asari revere Elune. She wore these rings after learning medicine from a Thane herself. She was like a Dalatress for your people. If we displayed her rings, we'd get more Asari support in the hospitals.
And that's another side quest obtained inside of a hospital that has definitely changed somewhat after the recent events, with injured people spread far outside of the patient rooms. At the Certa Supplies terminal, we can now spend a good amount of credits to purchase the 3rd and 4th Medigel capacity upgrades. Not that we really need them, but, you know, full completion and all that.
Be safe.
Now, after Kaidan's release, Dr. Michelle is nowhere to be found, so we can go straight to the patient wing, where we can actually acquire even more side quests, the first one being unlocked after listening to a human and a Salarian doctor over here.
There's got to be something. I don't know what Cerberus was packing, but we're going to lose this patient.
Without a new treatment plan, we're stuck, and I can't think of anything beyond what we've already tried.
I know, but I can't think of anything else. Can you?
Quest giver number 2 is also a Salarian, and we'll listen to him right after taking a peek inside of Kaidan's old room and finding it empty, a bit strange considering the bodies at the entrance.
I understand Palaven is very busy, but this is one of your own generals. He was stabbed with a poisoned blade by a Cerberus soldier during the attack on the Citadel. We can't identify the toxin. We're barely keeping him alive right now. It's some form of neurotoxin. If you could look at our charts... Of course, I understand. Even a general is just one man.
Outside of the room we can also find two doctors arguing, giving us a chance to get involved and pick a side.
Who are we to choose who lives or dies? That's not what we do. We help our patients, all of them.
That's a nice sentiment, but it won't help when we run out of supplies. I've seen this happen in combat before. And we will run out of supplies. Have you seen the projections the Administration Center made?
I have. The situation is going to get worse. What's your point?
We can't deny the facts. If we prioritize them, some of our patients are in a much better position to survive. If we take care of them first and ration our supplies, we can save some now, and enable ourselves to save more later.
We cannot do that. We swore an oath to help the sick regardless of their economic situations or their places in society.
We're fighting right now to protect the people you're talking about. If you let these people die, that fight is for nothing.
It's not that simple. If we aren't careful about this now, we'll end up losing everyone.
Then we'll find a way. Look, we have more fortunate patients, right?
Yes, and I hate to say it, but the fortunate ones have far better survival odds.
And more credits. So we asked them for donations, to get more supplies, for those without credits.
What? Are you saying what I think you're saying? That's... You know, that actually might work.
And no, this does not give us any war assets. As a matter of fact, the end of the conversation always plays out the same, no matter who is supported, so this decision does not really affect anything.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for a Drell named Thane Krios.
Well, we have a Drell, but not under that name.
He was injured. Stab wound. He's a regular patient here.
It's all right, it's all right. I see. The doctors were able to repair a lot of the trauma. However, Mr. Krios is in the final stages of Keprel's syndrome. At its worst, Keprel's syndrome interferes with his blood's ability to carry oxygen, and he lost a lot. Now, they've given him transfusions, but frankly, there was a very limited supply of Drell blood on the Citadel.
Alright, we are here to see Thane and have 3 answers to choose from, but only 2 give morality points, and I think in this case the Paragon option would be the natural response.
I'll get more. Give me his blood type.
That's not going to work. Only one other Drell on the station is a match, and that Drell is in with him now. We did all we could to help him through surgery, but his body can't replace lost blood with new cells. Too much shock. His son, Kolyat, he's in there saying his goodbyes. You might want to say yours.
Commander Shepard, my father mentioned you were no longer incarcerated. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Thane Krios. I came to donate blood and, well, he asked me to take off his oxygen mask so he could be comfortable. I don't think it will be very long.
And despite looking like it, this here is not a morality choice. However, the option at the top just feels right in this situation.
Your father helped me save a lot of lives. I'd like to be here.
Of course.
Commander, I'm afraid I won't be joining you again.
You've done more than enough, Thane.
That assassin should be embarrassed. A terminally ill Drell managed to stop him from reaching his target.
I'll pass the word along.
There's something I must do before it gets worse. I must... Kalahira, mistress of inscrutable depths, I ask forgiveness. Kalahira, whose waves wear down stone and sand.
Kalahira, wash the sins from this one and set him on the distant shore of the infinite spirit.
Kolyat, you speak as the priests do. You have been spending time with them.
I brought a prayer book. Commander, would you care to join me?
Again, doesn't really matter what we choose here, as both options are agreeing to participate, and who would we be to decline that wish?
Kalahira. This one's heart is pure, but beset by wickedness and contention.
Guide this one to where the traveler never tires, the lover never leaves, the hungry never starve. Guide this one, Kalahira, and he will be a companion to you as he was to me. Kolyat? There's something I don't understand. His last moments were those of a hero. Why pray for salvation?
The prayer was not for him, Commander. He has already asked forgiveness for the lives he has taken. His wish was for you.
Goodbye, Thane. You won't be alone long.
Okay, and with that, Thane's room now closes and we cannot enter again, leaving us with little else to do but to leave. At this point, after losing yet another former squad member, we do have the option to take another full tour of the Citadel, and as I said, there are plenty of new faces to talk to and new quests to obtain, but we also have some business to attend to back on the Normandy, so that is where we will be going next, and to get there we need to go through the docks.
Spectre status recognized. Please select a destination. One moment, please. Now arriving at Docking Bay D24.
And while we're here, let's listen in to another conversation.
I've got your briefing, Private. Let's fill you in before the squad arrives. The Alliance is posting us to an Ezo mining facility on Zani. It's a low-gravity planet, toxic atmosphere. You'll be expected to maintain full survival gear. Any questions?
Are we playing security, Sergeant Olenby?
No, Private. We are not. Have you discovered a way to run FTL spaceships without an Ezo core, Private Talavi?
No, ma'am.
Then consider this a serious assignment. Intel's expecting a Cerberus raid.
Cerberus? Cerberus?
They're a problem?
I thought we were fighting Reapers, ma'am.
Give it a week. You could be.
I'd like to request a transfer to a zone with Reapers, Sergeant.
And may I ask why you think your deployment deserves special treatment, Private?
I think I'll do better against the Reapers than Cerberus, ma'am.
And what combat experience against Reapers are you basing this on?
None, ma'am.
Outstanding.
Sergeant, I have a little brother. He went off-planet to try and make money, hung with a lousy crowd. A week before the Reapers, my brother sent me this excited message. He'd found an organization with lots of pay, benefits. He snuck me a photo of the shiny new armor they gave him. White and yellow armor, ma'am.
You're sure of what you saw?
Yes, Sergeant.
Heard from your brother since then?
No, Sergeant.
All right, Talavi. I'll see if I can get you fighting Reapers instead of Cerberus.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. You won't thank me so much when you're eye-deep in husks.
Right, another unfortunate story here, and we also have another quest to right around the corner.
Ma'am, I had a friend in security at Sonax, and there was definitely Prothean tech on Garbug. I know the Valhalla threshold is Reaper territory now, but Prothean tech could help the Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm aware this is an unsecured channel. Yes, understood. Thank you, ma'am.
On a somewhat brighter note, we can also find Cortez over here, surprising as he has hidden himself away on the ship until now.
You finally made it off the Normandy.
Glad I did. Even with the chaos of all the refugees, seeing so many ships in flight is comforting. Gets me thinking. Hey, a Turian frigate. I think that's the PFS Havenkal.
What's one Turian warship doing at the Citadel?
Looking for dry dock, I bet. She's seen battle. Look at the waiver in her drive core emissions. Alone, limping, looking for a haven. Maybe it would have been better to just go down fighting, like their families back home.
Are you talking about the Turians or yourself?
I should have been there. With Robert.
I'm glad you weren't. You'd be dead, and we'd never have met.
Yeah. That's the one good thing from all this. I'm glad to serve with you, Shepard.
We can grab 2 more Paragon points in this conversation by insisting that this is about more than just revenge. After all, the stakes are much, much higher.
The lives of future generations rest on those Turians' shoulders. On our shoulders. Nobody is giving up. Not those Turians, not me, not you.
If anyone can pull this all together, it's you.
Is that an Alliance cruiser? What's it doing here?
That's the SSV London. Decommissioned years ago. Look, no guns. Refugees must have salvaged her from a shipyard. Geneva-class cruisers always had ezo cores like granite.
People find a way to survive.
Do whatever it takes to see another day. Gotta let go. For real this time. The refugees here have put up a memorial wall. They leave mementos of lost loved ones. I was thinking maybe...
What's stopping you?
Nothing. I mean... Let me think about it. Your suggestion to come out here was a good one, Commander. I needed this.
And that's all we want to do on the Citadel for now. Let's head back to the ship.
Our replacement has been selected for the position vacated by Councilor Udina.
Kaidan. Hey, I wondered where you went. What's up?
I'm trying to wrap my head around what just happened.
You sound angry.
No, just not used to staring down the gun of someone I've worked with so closely. How it all went down, it's got me... I don't know.
Okay. Talk to me. Let's have it.
If I hadn't backed down first, I feel like you would have taken me out.
Well, if that would have been the way to get the best outcome in terms of gameplay bonuses, then sure, but we don't need to tell him that, even though no morality points are awarded here.
I trusted you, and I knew you'd come around. That's all that matters. Main thing is we stopped the coup, and Cerberus is off the Citadel.
Yeah, but sometimes the way a thing goes down does matter, Shepard. Later when you have to live with yourself. Knowing that you acted with integrity, and it matters.
You're talking about Udina. He gave me no choice, so I took the shot. Any soldier would have done the same, including you.
Okay. Look, Shepard, there's another reason I'm here. Hackett offered me a position, but I'd turn it down in a second if there was a chance to join you in the Normandy again.
And yes, we absolutely want Kaidan back on board. After all, he becomes a fully fledged squad member, so this is an easy decision.
Couldn't imagine meeting the Reapers without you.
Thank you, Commander. And Shepard, I need you to know that I'll never doubt you again. I get you back.
Good to know. Welcome aboard, Major.
Aye, aye, sir.
Shepard, I got Anderson patched in. I was just getting him up to speed.
Udina? That SOB was always power-hungry. But this?
He wasn't in charge. Cerberus was just using him to take control of the Citadel.
What the hell for?
I don't know. Not yet.
Could have been a lot worse. Shepard stopped the assassination attempt on Councilor Valern.
Kai Leng.
What?
Your assassin. I'll have Hackett send you my reports on him.
I take it you two have met.
Kaylee Sanders and I had our share of run-ins with him. I shot him in both legs once. Thought that might be the end of him. But he should have begun on Omega, even stronger.
Illusive Man patch him up?
That'd be my guess. Given what they were able to do with you and Grayson. It's a safe bet Leng's even more dangerous now.
For 2 more Paragon points, we can now thank Anderson for the information. At least we now have a full name for the guy who is surely not going to annoy the hell out of us.
I'll take whatever advantage I can get against these bastards.
Their attempts may have had at least one unintended side effect. I received word from the Asari Councilor. They're requesting an update on the Crucible.
Leng has them scared. Enough to send help?
Yes, the Asari and Salarians are both throwing in their support now.
How's your progress on the Crucible?
Good. Our estimates suggest we've completed nearly 50% of the known work.
So quickly?
Once decoded, the schematics are designed in such a way that allows our scientists to easily translate the information. It's not Prothean specific.
Are we any closer to understanding how to use it?
That's still open for debate. Utilized in the right fashion, our scientists are convinced it can generate enough energy to destroy the Reapers. The question is, how will it dispense the energy, and in what form?
You mean, how do you stop it from wiping us all out?
Exactly. We think the catalyst is the key to determining how to focus its energy, how to direct its energy at the Reapers alone.
I'm working on that.
You'll find the answers, Shepard. I'll send you an update on the schematics. And in the meantime, we'll keep building.
And we'll keep fighting. Make sure there's an Earth left to come back to.
And let's not show ourselves too confident here, but still give Anderson and the troops on Earth some hope, which is rewarded with another 2 Paragon points.
You've always trusted me. I won't let you down.
We're still in this. The gods of war haven't given up on us yet.
Good luck, both of you. Anderson out.
Commander, the Turian fleet is stretched thin. We need more support ships, and the Quarians are willing to talk.
Understood, sir. I'll look into it.
Be careful. We've got reports of instability along the Geth border. Hack it out.
Shepard, do you have a moment? A contact within Asari High Command was insistent I pass on a distress signal to you.
Something they can't handle?
From what I can tell, they sent several commando squads to investigate. None of them returned. They didn't ask me directly, but I think High Command is hoping you might help.
What's your take on this?
That they wouldn't ask for help if it wasn't important. The colony's coordinates are on the galaxy map. I'll try to figure out what's going on.
And there we are. After receiving another quest from Liara, we are finally free to roam around the ship. In the bottom right corner, you can see that we have unlocked a bunch of new missions and codex entries, and it looks like the next stop in the game's main storyline will take us to a meeting with the Quarians, and perhaps we'll find a special someone while we're at it. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at the recently obtained war assets, and the first thing we can see here is the fact that we have already surpassed the minimum threshold for total military strength. Now, I won't go into the details of what that actually means, as that would require spoiling a good part of the ending. Suffice it to say that we are definitely not done collecting. As always, I will just scroll through everything rather quickly, but if you want to read all of the text, then feel free to pause and take your time. For today's mission, the biggest increases come from the Asari, who, as Hackett just stated, have apparently committed a good number of assets to the war effort, probably because the Reapers are starting to breathe down their necks too. Saving the Salarian Councilor is also rewarded with a nice amount of asset points, this time in the form of the Salarian 3rd Fleet. By the way, had we let the Council die at the end of Mass Effect 1, we obviously would have had to rescue a different Salarian Councilor today, and that guy would not have given us this many points. Just a side note, as the smaller connections between the 3 games are often lost in the shuffle. Now, for today, I think we have seen enough, and I don't want to start the tour through the ship at this point, as it will include quite a few lengthy but also very interesting conversations that I think are best left for the next video. So, with another main mission behind us, 2 more achievements unlocked, and with another squad member recruited, let's make the cut for today. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.